Hello everybody, Mannix here. It's time to show off my little cold steel folding knife collection. Spartan, classic cold steel design right here. It's not the biggest knife they make, but it sure is heavy and wide. It's waveable, nice thwack to it, super strong. That triad lock is tried and true. Full nested steel liners in there, really cool striations on your design. The pattern's cool, like the stonewash finish, AUS 10 blade. Not very much poking out of your pocket there, but it's one of the few situations where I would like that pocket clip to be just a little bit lower, so I had just a little bit more to grip onto, so I don't carry it all the time, but it's still a kick-ass knife anyway, so. Close cousin, the Formax Scout. Similar size, similar weight. It's actually a little bit heavier. I think it's a little wider. Nice skateboard tape-like pattern on the FRN handles right here. Big old, almost bullet-shaped blade right there. Very aggressive looking. Really cool, fat, heavy knife. That pocket clip is cool looking too. Very wide stonewash finish on there. Again, triad lock. Let's go with an old dude. This is a Cold Steel Voyager old model with the VG1 stainless. Happens to be in the Tanto. Very lightweight for its length right here. Very simple design, diamond pattern right there on the FRN. No liners in there whatsoever, so it keeps it nice and light. Standard lockback, so it's not the strongest knife. Kind of a medium, maybe even medium lighter duty knife, but certainly a pretty good combat blade, good defensive blade. Won't bog you down too much. Really cool, simple big knife right here. Its new and improved version, the Voyager XL, with the AUS 10 blade, triad lock. A little bit heavier, a little bit beefier and chunkier, but it's certainly a bit smoother. Thwacks out a little faster. I like the ergonomics on the newer ones. It's more squared off design, but more traction on this iron cross pattern they have right here. It's just one of my favorite go-to knives ever. And none of these are terribly expensive either. Maybe the old model Voyager is now because you can't get them anymore, but speaking of the old model Voyagers, the X2. They don't make a modern X2, but it's like the big daddy to that old model Tanto Voyager right there. One of my favorite knives of all time. Big old pocket clip. Again, nice and light for its size. Very nimble, very maneuverable. Giant 6-inch blade right there, man. How could you say no? Really cool knife. Luzon, however you say that. This knife kicks ass as well. It's a liner lock. Not many cold steel liner locks out there, but because of the ball bearing track it's on, it's extremely smooth. No wrist movement needed, even with a 6-inch blade, man. We have the leaf spring lock, they call that. It's a lock for the lock. So if you think liner locks are too weak, well, there you go. You got a little babysitter for it right there. Really smooth deployment, very fast. And these knives are cheap. It's an ACR13 MOV blade, which is a little bit cheaper than the AUS 10, but full skeletonized liners in there. Big old fat pocket clip, nice ergos. You really cannot go wrong for this price point. So very impressive knife for the money. Distant relative of that guy, the Tylite, 6 inches in the Zyx or Zytel, FRM, whatever they call it. Their non-fancy model. 6-inch blade, again, slightly more expensive than that Luzon, right there, or Luzon, however you say that. Also a liner lock, but no leaf spring on there. Basically just a giant stiletto. It's their larger version of their 4-inch Tylite. It's kind of a comical knife, but sure as hell is going to be great for piercing, I'll tell you that. If I just pierce something, that's all. This is the first knife I take with me, so kind of a fun knife, but also an okay defensive knife too. It's just kind of a little bit more limited with its blade shape right there. Kind of the fatter version of that dude, the Counterpoint XL, again, 6-inch blade. It's a little bit wider, again, AUS 10A. Styled like a giant boot knife. Liners in there, which I believe are actually aluminum. In my review, I said they were steel. I think I'm wrong. They are aluminum liners in there. I like the holes. It's kind of cool looking. It's heavy, it's beefy, it's chunky. Big old folding dagger. So I have comfortable. Kind of just another overkill blade, but it's just cool. I could say no to that. Triad lock, by the way. Fast deployment for a triad lock knife. That's very impressive. Hold out 1. One happens to have their S35VN steel in their full flat ground, styled like those Scottish daggers. I can't remember what they're called either, but we have some cutouts on the G10 down here. It's pure G10, so it's nice and nimble for its size anyway. Very balanced, very simple, very elegant. Very cool knife. Triad lock again. Slim, so it's actually not that hard to carry, believe it or not. The Talwar. This is another cool knife. It's very similar to the holdout one I just showed there, even though its shape is quite different, but the materials are the same. Pure G10 slabs and an S35VN blade steel. This one I find a little bit more useful. I just like its shape. It's a lot of different grips on here, a lot of different tiers. I like the jimping up here, very wide, just big old triad lock, really sexy, really cool. Again, love that S35VN blade steel. It just sets its quality levels over the top. Simple pocket clip, it won't make it look like you have a giant knife on you. Really, really cool knife, waveable. Damn, that is a sexy blade. Espada. Large. A little bit cheaper than our Talwar right there. Very similar knife. I have a video directly comparing the two, but we got a stonewash finish on here, AOS 10A. Love the way this knife looks. Really, really cool. It's kind of like a rhino or something. Multiple grips. You can grip it in. A lot of reach right here. It is waveable. Again, triad lock, really strong. Another really, really cool giant cold steel knife. Let's upgrade to our premium Espada. S35VN blade steel with the polished G10 handles. And the polished bolsters right here, which I think are aluminum. Just really, really cool, beautiful knife. S35VN blade steel. Got all the bells and whistles you want from the original large Espada, but it's a little bit shinier, sexier, and better blade steel. A little bit more expensive, but it's probably the most beautiful knife I own, so really cool. And to top off the Espadas, why don't we finish them off with the XL variant, the largest folding knife I own. 7.5 inch blade right there is a full grip I get in my hand. I can hold this knife with two hands. Folding knife with two hands is literally a pocket sword. Still, triad lock, extremely strong. AOS 10A blade steel, stonewash finish. It's just, if I had to defend my life with one folding knife and only one, it's this one, hands down. Hands down. Raja 2. This is one of my favorites. Large cold steels, actually. It's very wide and heavy and chunky, takes up a lot of space. It's a nice long kukri blade right there. It's comfortable. Love it. Really cool. But I like how low riding that pocket clip is. I like how non-covert that is, actually. Yeah, I want the pocket clip to be covert and all, but when it's low like this, I can really easily wave it off of my pocket without even thinking about it. Some of these other knives, the pocket clip's so high up on there, yeah, you can wave them off, but you got to be really careful with how you grip it because it might just fly right out of your hands. This guy gives you a lot of reach. Yeah, it's not going to be hidden in your pocket very well, but do you care to hide a pocket kukri in the first place? If you're going somewhere where you need a pocket kukri, you're probably not really caring about hiding it that much to begin with, so not a big deal. I really like how deployable and fast it is. Again, AOS 10A blade steel. It's really, really impressive. Impressive, fast knife for its size. And finally, let's end with a more obscure, older, discontinued cold steel, the Paradox 5.5 inch. It's styled like a balisong with the double handles right there, but it does not deploy like one. It's very stiff, uses slip joint mechanisms, so it does not technically fall under the balisong nonsense bullshit category, blah blah blah, but it still has that same strength that balisong has. It's a little bit too slow. I don't carry this. It's just way too damn slow, but it's very cool. It's very beautiful, and it's still a huge ass knife. Once this is deployed and extracted in your hand like this, you can't go wrong. AOS 8 plate still on there, by the way. There you have it. Those are my extra large cold steel knives anyway. Got a handful more, but this video is dedicated to the fat boys, so thank you so much for watching. Feel free to support me on Patreon. Subscribe if you'd like more knife and gun videos. Do you have any cold steels? What are your favorites? Do you have any large knives that are not cold steels? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Mannix out.